Hey there, everyone. Welcome to Riff On This, candid conversations behind the music in Florida. If you know anything about Florida or music, you know that this is a big old state and we have a lot of talent. But we're here for all the juicy details and amazing stories flowing through all the genres in the Sunshine State. I'm your host, Samara Kokinas, taking a break from the weather to catch a musical vibe with you. Okay, so if you have ever gone down the rabbit hole known as TikTok, most likely you're going to recognize my next guest. He has amazing talent and he is a violinist, an electric violinist that plays all over the state and even the country. He's gone viral on TikTok, so let's get right into it. I want to introduce you to Sebastian Gabriel. Sebastian, welcome to the set of Riff On This.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I mean, after seeing you, so long story short for the viewers and listeners, I actually attended a birthday party where you were playing. Yeah. And I have to say, when I stepped in and I heard you playing, I sat there for a minute and listened to you, and you're amazing. You're really amazing.
Thank you.
The sound of your electric violin is just fantastic. But then I started listening even more, and I thought to myself, man, I need to get him on the show.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Thank you so much for everything. Yeah.
No, absolutely. So you actually live in Tampa, correct?
Yes, I'm from Tampa.
You're
Yeah,
from
I live in Tampa.
But that's not where everything started for you, right?
No.
All right, so let's start from the beginning, like when you actually started playing violin, how you started playing violin, and where you're from.
So, well, I started violin when I was 5 years old. It wasn't my first instrument. My first instrument was the recorder when I was like 4 in kindergarten.
Oh man, everybody played one of those, I think. I mean, I did, and my mom hated it.
Yeah, I played that one for like 1 year. That was my first instrument. Then I'm from Venezuela, so I was part of the system, like orchestras in Venezuela. I started playing the violin when I was 5, and then I just keep playing violin for like all my life, kind of. Like right now.
Yeah, right? So when you say you play for an orchestra, what orchestra are you referring to, and when did you start playing for them?
So I played, at the beginning, I played the youth orchestra in Maracay, that's my city in Venezuela. Mm-hmm. And then I started playing for like 5 years. Then I played in like a chamber orchestra, that is just violin, cello, like basses. And I played over there for like 10 years, kind of. And then like when you go older, you can apply for like the youth orchestra, like next level, like maybe like 15 years old, like 12 years old. So I was like every year I was like making auditions to get like a new orchestra. And I was like doing like the upgrade. And then the last one was like the youth orchestra when I was like 13 to 14 probably. So.
Wow. So how did you get into that? Was it something that your parents wanted you to do, or was it like, I mean, is your mom or your dad musically like gifted, or
No,
not everybody plays in an orchestra? I just have to say that. So
yes, well, my mom loved music and my dad also loved music. They're not musicians. My mom is a medical doctor and my dad is an engineer. Oh, wow. But my mom also like she used to be in the choir in the church. Mm-hmm. So she loved it. And also she wanted to play piano, but she couldn't do it because she was like focusing in the university, and my dad the same. So it was like like a real thing for them, like music. Mm-hmm. And I think, well, probably when I was born, they were like, yo, you have to do music, or you have to like play an instrument, or try like enjoy yourself. And I think that was the way that they liked me.
So they're like living vicariously through you in a way.
Kind of. Yeah. They were like, I mean, they didn't like pursue me like you have to be a musician. No, they were just like, if you like it, just practice, go into the orchestra, and they see me like my talent, I think. And probably they just bring me to the music school. They pay for the lessons. So I mean, it's like a whole help for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they help me a lot.
Well, I think it's really important for parents to understand that when you pressure somebody like your child to do something, a lot of times they end up not liking it. Like I really wanted my son to play baseball, and because I played, and I loved it, and I thought, oh man, he's going to love this. You know what? He played basketball. He played basketball, the one sport that I really am not a huge fan of. He goes and but you know what? I was his biggest fan because he loved it, and I didn't want him to play something that he didn't
Yeah, of
want to be
course.
playing because you don't enjoy it.
Yeah, my parents try a lot of things for me. I play baseball also.
Yeah.
I swim. I also play soccer. I try music, but I never left music. It was like doing music and baseball, music and swimming. And then it was a moment, like I was like 11, and I was like very focused in music. I got like everything music. And my parent was like, you can do everything. I mean, I was doing school, swimming, baseball, violin, piano. So it was like, you have to decide for something if you really want to do like something really good. So I was like, well, I'm going to stay with music. And also my teacher in that time, he didn't like me to do sports because that can be like dangerous for my hands and
Right.
my body. And I was like, I mean, I can do music, so I just like enjoy it. So it wasn't a problem.
So, what was it like playing in an orchestra? I mean, is it very structured and very tedious work to be playing in an orchestra, especially at such a young age?
I mean, it's hard because you have to follow the same pattern and also you have to be very focusing like in your part. I was part of the first violins in the first row violins. So it was like a lot of dedication. So you have to be like with the director, practicing every day. I was practicing every day since I was like 6, 7 years old. I was doing school homework and then going to the orchestra from 5 to 8 and then homework, school, orchestra. It was like a very like pressure
Strict.
thing and strict thing, but I mean, it worth it, so I really like it.
When you say first row, what is that usually in terms of for those that do not listen to orchestra music too often? I love classical music, so I get it. But when you say first row, is that more detailed violin work compared to just a bigger rhythm? Or explain to me where that music, the part what you hear is.
So it depends. For example, the first violin, there's usually an orchestra, it's like violin 1, violin 2.
Correct.
So usually the violin 1 have like more melody parts and more like difficult technique. Usually the second violin also have the same amount of like difficulty, but it depends so like it depends like a definition. But in that time, I was like part of the youth orchestra, but my main orchestra actually was the chamber orchestra. I was focusing more in the chamber orchestra because I feel like more free to play my music. Because my teacher in that time, the director of that orchestra, used to like more like Vivaldi, seasons, like all that, and he gave like solos to play. So I was like more enjoying that because he was like, play this part and you're gonna be the soloist with the orchestra, with the chamber orchestra. I was like, I really like this. It was like more my thing. Orchestra is more like you have to follow the group and you have to play with it, like more people. It's more like a group thing. That one was more like individual, and also I have friends, and it was like a whole group. So I was like more focusing in the chamber orchestra in that moment.
So you felt like it allowed you to express your own
Yeah.
musical talent and the kind of stuff that you like to hear more.
Yeah, and also when I was like 11, my teacher tried to do something like Venezuelan classic music, more like folkloric music. So I was playing more like songs that people really like know and they listen to it. So I really like it because it was more like a party thing, like, hey, let's play this song, and we start playing all together with a cuatro. We have a cuatro, Venezuelan cuatro, so it's like the cuatro, a violin, bass, so it was like a whole party thing. And I was like really enjoying because when I went to my school, like in high school or elementary, I showed the song to my friends and they were like, oh, I like this song, I love it. And I was like, okay, this is like that kind of music that people like to. So I was like more into like that part.
So what do you remember about performing on stage with the orchestra or with the chamber orchestra that you really, one particular moment that kind of stuck out to you, how you felt and how it made you feel when you saw, the reaction from an audience?
Well, I think I've been in like a stage since I was like young age, so it didn't was a problem for me. I just walked to the stage, play, and I didn't have nervous or anything. Yeah, it was
Because
like,
I remember my first time on TV, okay, and it was not that easy. I mean, I didn't spend my whole life in front of a television, so I understand because now it's easier for me now.
exactly, yeah.
But I remember my knees shaking. I was stuttering. It was a whole episode. It was not good.
For me, it's like just natural. It just comes, and I can play in front of a lot of people. It's not like a problem. I remember one time I was playing. It was like a big concert from the orchestra. We were playing with Gustavo Dudamel, So he was like the director of that orchestra. He was coming from, I think he was in Italy, Germany, something like that. It was really important. And I remember I didn't rosin my bow. So you have to rosin your bow every time that you play, because if not, the sound isn't gonna come out from the violin.
Okay.
I didn't rosin my bow, and I was part of the like a violin row. I was like second violin at that time. I remember I was playing, and my video has like a video of me saying to my friend, "The sound doesn't count," and my friend was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "It doesn't count." I was like a kid. I was like 7 years old in the whole orchestra. Everything was like sounding like, and no one like noticed it. But my dad had the video of me saying, "It doesn't make a sound."
Oh no!
And I was like horrible. I felt like so bad because I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't play anything."
Here's this guy, super important, and my instrument's not playing. Like, come on.
Yeah, but usually when you're in the orchestra, like it's not making a difference because the sound is coming. It's like you're just like a 1% of the whole orchestra. So it's like,
Yeah, but you were like 7.
I mean, yeah, I was worried about it. I was like, oh my god, I messed up the whole thing. But I mean, it just happened, and then I learned my lesson. It was like, okay, rosin your bow before playing. So yeah.
Never forget that, will you?
Never.
It's just one of those moments that you're like, hey, listen, not going to do that again.
Yes.
What was the largest crowd that you can remember playing in front of, or audience? You know about how many?
I think once I played in the Sala Simón Bolívar. It's in the main conservatory in Caracas, Venezuela. I was part of the youth orchestra, and I think probably it was like 1,000 people, maybe.
Wow.
I really don't remember, but it was a like crowd of people, and I was like part of the orchestra, and I was like, oh my god, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I'm just kind of like, it's natural for me, like performing.
Yeah.
Then after that, I remember I was playing more by myself, like a solo artist, with my friends. So it was more like it was naturals too, but for them it wasn't like that natural because they didn't have that orchestra entrainment. So I was like, just go to the stage with me and play. And they were like, no, I'm getting nervous. So I was like just pursuing like, no, come with me. So I was that friend that said, you have to come. And I was like helping everyone.
That's awesome,
in that,
though.
So, yeah.
That obviously came in, handy in the long run for you, and we started playing because then you actually moved to Florida. How long ago?
4 years ago. So in 2018, I moved to Florida with my family.
Okay. So when you came here, I know you were telling me over the phone that you started off playing music, but then you kind of took a different route, and you learned English fairly quickly. As you told me, you were like, listen, I didn't know one bit, and I had to learn. So tell me a little bit about that. Like, when I heard this, I was like, wow, that's dedication, because this is a hard language. Because things mean so many different things, you know what I mean? Like one word
and also
has
the
5
pronunciation is kind of hard.
Yeah.
Because like one word means 3 different things. So it's like, okay, I mean this.
Or it's spelled the same, but it doesn't sound the same.
Exactly. So it's weird. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying.
Yeah.
So when I came here in the 2018, I knew a little bit of English, but it wasn't like I didn't have a conversation. Right. So when I first came, I was like it was hard because, for example, go to like I don't know, like a fast food. I was like getting a burger. It was like, hey, can I have, I don't know, number 5? And they were like, what? So they didn't get it. So it's like, okay, no, I have to dedicate myself to learn the language first if we're gonna do something here. So I spent like a whole year learning English. Like I have a tutor in the library, and he helps me a lot, like to try and learn like the verbs and all that. And I mean, I live with my uncle and my aunt. My uncle is from Venezuela and my aunt is from here. Okay. So that helped me a lot because it was like in the house we only speak in English. So it was like, okay, just practice, try. It was the way that I learned.
Nice.
And yeah, after that, just like keep trying and like keep practicing my violin.
So when you came here, your intentions in music were, what did you plan on doing? Did you have any idea?
When I first came, I didn't have a plan because when I moved here, it was emergency. So it was like, we have to go from Venezuela and just take like a little package and go. Wow. So I came with my family. I have like a backpack with like two T-shirts, like 1 GM, and the violin. I'm an acoustic violin. I was like, this is the only thing that I need. So when I came, it was like I had like nothing, and it was for me like start from the beginning. So when I started, like, I was just looking for options. I was like, maybe I should try something with music. I should try something with medicine also. In Venezuela, I was trained to be like a medical technology, something like that.
Okay.
So I used to work in a medical laboratory. So I was like, I should do that here because that's like you get a good pay, and also it's like you have a good future. You can do a career with that.
Right.
So it was my plan at the beginning when I first came. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. Then, but first the language. So I was learning the language, and then after I learned the language, I was like, okay, now let me find options. So I found this option for the phlebotomy program. It wasn't like that long, so I was like, okay, I can start with the phlebotomy program, and then I can make a nurse. I can go nurse school. I can go to medical technology, something with that, with medicine, because my mom is a medical doctor. So it always was like there. She always was, I was like around doctors all my life. Like, oh my God, like my her friends. So basically I
The
know
company
them.
they keep, yeah.
Exactly. So it was like, I mean, if you want to do that, so I was like around that. Well, I tried. I went to the school. I went to college. I did my program. I did the whole thing, and then I graduated, and I got a job in the May Hospital in Tampa.
Okay.
So I was like, this is my journey. I'm gonna do this for my life. And I spent there for like 9 months, and I was like seeing the reality of like the medical field, and I was like, this is not, I don't love this.
This isn't me. This is not me. Mom, I get it. You know, you're great at what you do, but
Yeah, it was like, it is hard. And also I got like, I have my violin at home. I was playing and I was making videos. I always do videos on the internet. So I was like, maybe this is not my thing. And also but with that money, I started like buying stuff like electric violin. I bought like my own speaker. That was like a big thing for me because when I came, I only have like my acoustic violin and that's it.
Right.
And I started getting a laptop, maybe like electric violin, like a little setup. And I was like, I'm gonna do something with this. So I'm gonna just buy this and whatever. And then I was like telling my mom, like, I need to quit this job if I wanna do something with my life, like being.
what'd she say?
And she was like, just do whatever you feel like you want to. If you wanna quit that job, just quit it. So she was like very like support me all the time. She was like, yeah. I quit the job and I was like, I'm gonna just send random emails to every place that I see in Instagram.
Right.
So I was just sending emails like crazy, like, okay, hi, I'm Violinist. I play like all type of music. If you can hire me, just call me, something like that. I sent like, I don't know, like 100 of emails in Tampa, Orlando, Miami, like all that. And then I remember one place like answered me. It was like a rooftop in Tampa area. It was like, hey, come to like today and make a performance. So I want to see you playing. And I was like, okay, yes, I have a gig, finally.
Right. Now, was it paid or was it free?
The demonstration was free to see if I can accept it and play like that night or maybe in the future. So it wasn't something short. It was something like just try and let me see what you play.
Oh, okay. Because I know a lot of people, when they get into music, they often have to do a lot of things for free just to get their foot in the door and progressively, you know, make moves from that point. And I think a lot of people forget about that part because they're like, oh, well, they're getting money. Not necessarily. Some people are there doing their own thing just to get a start to do it.
Yeah,
And
you have the opportunity.
Yeah, you do. So so you started playing at the rooftop?
Yeah, I played in the rooftop that night. I did like a demonstration. And when I did it, the manager was like, oh my God, I really love it. Can you come tonight? And I was like, yes, of course. I came that night, I put my setup, like a small setup. I just had like speaker, my violin, the computer, that's it. So I start playing and people start like liking the music. So the manager said, "Can you come Friday and Saturday?" I was like, "Yes, of course." And then I was going every weekend to that place, and people was like, "Oh, the violin guy. Oh, you're Sebastian. You're like violin guy." I was like, "Yes, yes. You can check my Instagram. You can check
Right?
my
Follow me,
socials."
please.
Yeah. So I was like becoming like a name in Tampa.
And you got a new last name. It was Sebastian the violin guy. It was no longer Gabriel, right?
Yeah, or no Sebastian, just the violinist guy. Or the violin guy,
Hey.
yeah, it's something like yes,
you.
that's
Yes, that's
me,
me.
that's me. So yeah, I started doing that, and also people from like more places start like calling me because I saw you on the rooftop. Can you come to my wedding? Can you come to my whatever like party? So I started like doing that, and I mean they really like it was my first starting here in Tampa, so I was like when I first started. Like,
So that was what, 2019? That was pre-pandemic, yes?
that was I think probably yes, like 2020. Yeah, like
Right before
2019.
the shutdown?
Yeah.
So how did the pandemic and the shutdown?
No, sorry, it was 2020. So it was
was
after the pandemic.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So this was like after everything had reopened.
Yeah.
So when you were during the pandemic, you were in more of the phlebotomy field.
I was working at the hospital during the
Oh,
pandemic.
no wonder you didn't like it. I mean, who would at that point?
Yes.
It was rough for medical. I mean, it was rough for everybody, but the medical field really took, I mean, the brunt end of that. I mean, thank goodness for all the nurses and doctors and, hospital workers, period, because they were essential, and especially being overloaded the way that they were. So, yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah,
I mean, I
was
couldn't
crazy.
do it anyway, but I'm just not.
Yeah, it was crazy. I think
not built
that
for
was
that.
one of the things that made me like quit or something or going
Like,
out.
listen, we don't know how many more. We don't know how many more pandemics we might have at this point. you
Yeah,
know?
I was worried about it, so I said no, this is not my thing. So yeah, I started playing the rooftop, and that gave me like a more motivation. I was like, okay, people is hiring me, people wants me to play, wants to listen to my music. So I was like, I think I should keep doing this. So in that time, I was like, okay, just keep trying. I'm posting videos, like playing the rooftop, playing more stuff. So like,
What kind of music were you playing at the rooftop though? I mean, it wasn't classical music the whole time, right?
no.
Okay, because I'm like, classical music, I love to clean to it, but I also like to clear my mind to it. When I'm on my ride home at night, sometimes I just put on some classical music
Yeah,
and get home. It's a very nice way to just kind of unwind and decompress from a busy day.
Yeah, I love it.
So what genres were you playing?
I was playing more like modern music. I was playing pop music, rock, hip hop. So I was just making my own set list. And I was like, it was my first like trying to get the audience with me. So trying to get that music because I have my music, my own music, but I didn't know if people liked that music.
Right.
So being the rooftop, it was like a great experience for me to know like what people want to listen. So I was like listening requests like, can you play Britney Spears? Can you play Michael Jackson? I was like making my list, like my list of songs. So every weekend I just came out with something new. So I was like working the whole week to have my new style of music, and then okay, I have this set. People like it. No, okay, try something else.
Right.
Just work hard.
Trial and error is key. Did you ever have one of the people where they play Bad Bunny on their phone and put it right here? Have you ever had that happen yet?
Well, they haven't, but
See,
not
I
in
knew
that,
it. I
not in that
knew it.
moment. Yeah, I mean, so
And you're
yeah.
like, really?
When Bad Bunny came like a thing, like a real thing,
Yeah.
I wasn't. I mean, I always play like Latin music. Always play Bad Bunny all the style, but I didn't play it in live because I didn't know if people really like have like that feedback from people. I was more like American music, hip hop, all kind of music. And I just keep the Latin music for me and for the social media, but I didn't play it in live music. And it was like a moment, I think like last year when Bad Bunny came like viral and Latin music, I mean, it's like the main thing right now, even here in America. So it's like, I'm really proud of that. And I was like, I mean, I'm gonna play Bad Bunny to people to see what people says, like what people's reaction is.
What was their reaction?
When I started doing that, it was insane.
Really?
It was crazy. Like people start like dancing, people start like singing along with me.
Wow.
I was like, okay, no, I have to keep doing this. I was like focusing more myself and like playing Latin music and like like events. So it was crazy.
What is your absolute favorite song to play? Or do you not have one? Are you that eclectic?
I mean, I play everything, so it's not like a one song that I love to
Really,
play.
there's not one
No.
song that you just love to play it.
I mean, I have like one song that it's more like personal song that I love it. That the song is called Venezuela.
Okay.
So I love that song because it was my grandma's favorite song, and when I was a kid, she always asked me to play it for her. So it was like, okay, can you play this song? I was like, of course, and I bring my violin and I play the song for her. And also, I used to do like private concerts for my grandma and my grandpa.
Yes.
So I made tickets. And I put the chairs in order, and I was with my little brother because my little brother played cello.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, hey, let's do this concert. And my brother was the one who like gave the tickets. And I was the one who played. So he was the host of the show.
That's awesome.
And he said to my grandparents, and now Sebastian play Venezuela. And I made my repertoire. It was like 7, 8.
Really?
I played like Venezuela, that song, da 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 da. So I have like my own set list when I was a kid.
That's awesome. You started making set lists at a very young age because, you know, who knew later on you would have to be making a different type of set list and
Yeah.
kind of acclimating to the environment around you. So, I mean, you know, that's also reading the crowd is super important, right?
Yeah, it's really important. Like if you want to play like live music, it's like I wasn't a DJ, and when I was like playing, I was just a violinist. But now when you play live music for people like in a restaurant or like a wedding, like cocktail hour, or maybe like a show, you have to know what people want to listen. And it's more like I feel more like a DJ actually. Like I try to do like people likes it and also what I like. So it's like a connection that we have together. So yeah, it's just that gives you like the experience to that, like trying with people.
So when you're doing these cover songs, you know, I know you have your own music that you do too, but like when you do these cover songs, what is it about doing those songs that, how do you make it yours? I mean, is that something that you kind of just put your own flair in there, or?
What I do is like, for example, if we're gonna do a cover song, I take the whole backing track. Sometimes I made my own backing track. Sometimes I just Google it or like try to like find a good backing track. When I have the backing track, I know the whole song here in my head. So it's like, okay, I know the song, but I want to do this different. So I have, like with the violin, it's different because I can put more my music. I put pizzicato, I can put legatos, or if I want to make it classical, I just make my own. And also it's like just a backing track, so I just make my own thing. And I know the melody, like I just try like do what I feel in the moment.
Well, you're really talented at it because, I mean, even, you know what song it is. You hear the song and you're like, oh, yeah. But then the way that you add to it, it's really, really amazing. So
Thank you.
there was a moment, Tik Tok mania for you. I mean, you kind of went viral.
Yes.
What song did you play?
Well, my first viral video, it was a Latin song. I was in that rooftop that
It was Bad Bunny, wasn't it? No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Kind of.
He's like,
So-
yeah, it was Daddy Yankee, but.
It was Maluma's song.
Okay.
Yeah,
there
it
you
was Maluma's song. It's called Hawaii.
go. Okay.
So I was playing that song, and the tag, it was like playing Latin music, waiting for people reactions. I mean, in that moment, it was like really like a thing because when I played it, people start dancing, singing, and a lot of Latin music in that place. So it was like a big thing. And that video just went viral, and I was checking all the time because it was my first video. So I was like, oh my God, 200,000, and then 500,000. And then my brother, I think it's gonna go up. And I was like, you think so? Yes. Then 600,000, and then when it came to 1 million, it was like 1 million views. What?
You're like, how does this even happen?
And keep going. It was like 1.2, 1.5. It was so viral. So
Wow.
it was crazy. So, and at the same time, I was just receiving requests from people like, play this song. Hey, come to New York and play that song at my wedding.
Yeah, you said you woke up the next day and your email was just like bum, 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 bum.
I mean, my email was just complete crazy.
Over 500 emails, right?
500 emails or more, I think. So I was just like collapsed. I was like, how can I do this?
Right, but it's, it's a blessing, but yet it's an overwhelming blessing because you're like, This
Yeah.
is a solo act. I do everything from my scheduling. You are your personal manager.
Yes, at that time it was like crazy.
So what did you do to kind of get a grasp on all the emails and requests that they wanted you to play across the country, and still manage all of the social media end of it? How did you kind of balance that so you could focus on playing your music? Because that's a full-time job by itself.
Yeah, so well, in that moment when I received all these emails, all these requests, I was like, okay, I need a team. So I just called my brother, my girlfriend. It was like, okay, help me with this. Let's check email by email. We make a document and we make like a whole list of requests, like where is the wedding, where is it gonna be the wedding, make a calendar, because I was in that time got like probably like 3-4 weddings, maybe like one in January, it's 2 in February, but it wasn't like that full. So when I saw that, it was like, okay, I need this from everywhere. This is New York. We're talking about California, Puerto Rico, Mexico, like Colombia.
Oh, wow. So it's not just nationwide. This was like
No, it was like
worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide. People from like Dominican Republic, like, hey, come in December for my wedding. Also, I received a lot of requests from like football players, like soccer players, like famous people from the MLS.
Really?
Like request, like, hey, come to Cancun. I want you in my wedding, please. Like, I was like, can you see this? This guy is verified.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Like Messi, like Cristiano, or?
Well, I mean,
I used to play soccer, so I'm like kind of interested in this. I'm like, wait a minute, FIFA's on my TV, especially during the
yeah,
World
well, I
Cup.
was from Major League Soccer here in States, so it was like a lot of people from that.
Oh, from the in-state. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. I get you.
So it
That's
was like,
cool though.
I mean, yeah, it was crazy. And
Wow.
yeah, in that time.
Did you ever play at any of them?
Yeah, I mean, I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
I
of
did.
course I will. So, and even this year, I haven't those weddings that I received last year. I'm doing this year. This year is like fully packaged. I have like
That's awesome.
kind of every weekend doing like weddings or something, like an event, private party. So it's just like something like I'm blessing. I'm really happy.
Yeah, I mean, busy is blessed, and you're doing what you love instead of phlebotomy. I'm proud of you, and I'm very happy for you, especially at
thank
such a young age. You know, I would love for, I'm pretty sure a lot of our listeners and viewers are kind of sitting here like, I want to hear the kid play. I want to hear the kid play. We're going to get to that in a second, I promise you. But tell them where you can actually be found on social media, because I know, you know, you're on the TikTok, you're on Instagram. I said the TikTok like an old lady, really. Okay, he's on TikTok, he's on Instagram. Not so much Facebook, right? Like a little bit here and there.
A little bit. Yeah,
A little bit, yeah. I know. I kind of feel that.
So I have my Instagram on Seba Gabo, and same with TikTok, Seba Gabo. Also, I have YouTube channel. I'm trying to get more on YouTube because it takes more time, because you have to make like long videos. You have to take more like shots. But I mean, I kind of like it, so it's like I'm getting used to that.
Yeah.
So YouTube is the same, Seba Gabo, and also you can find me on Spotify as a Seba Gabo. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. So, real quick before we get into playing, what are your hopes for the future? I mean, do you want to record your own music and your own album? I know you have an EP that you came out with, so.
Yeah, so, well, I'm planning to, I have a lot of like tracks that I'm doing by myself. I have this planning to do like maybe later this year, maybe next year. I have a couple collabs that I want to post on my socials, like Spotify, all that. Also, I'm planning to tour maybe like in the future, playing with artists, something like that. So it's like my plans, and keep playing in weddings, like weddings, private party events. I mean, I love like playing for people, and that people have that feedback, because in social media, it's kind of like you play and you post a video and you just see the comments, you saw all that, but it's not like, you just see on your cell phone.
You don't see the emotion.
Yeah, you don't see anything. You just see like numbers. But then when you go and play for people, people is dancing, people singing the song that you just play. It's like, just like, it's different. It's so different.
But that and weddings are just so intimate, and you're providing something very, very like unique and very just in the moment for people to experience, and you really make a difference in somebody's day on the biggest day of their life. Ask any woman, she's gonna be like, listen, it's my day today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying my best when I do like weddings. I just try to do like what song you want for the ceremony to start, like what second of the song you want me to play. You want me to play just acoustic violin, just the backing track. You want me to play with the lyrics. So I'm just very specific with every detail because it's like a really important day. So I don't want to mess up or anything.
I mean,
so.
you killed it at my friend Joey's brother Brandon's birthday party. I was like, I got it, and then Joey brought me up and introduced you to me, and I was like, we're gonna talk more. We're definitely gonna talk more.
Of course. I always try like, what song do you want me to play? And they're like, okay, I want to play Bad Bunny. So okay, I know like every Bad Bunny song. I'm gonna just play it, like Latin music, bachata, something like that. So I just try, like every performance is different. So I just try different sets, different songs. So
you do country, rock?
Well, country, I haven't tried, but I love rock music. That's the music that I listen. So it's like. Yeah,
so you try a little bit of everything.
Yeah, everything.
Awesome. Well, I want you to try and go ahead and grace our listeners and our viewers with your talent, because I'm telling you right now, they are not going to be disappointed. I was not disappointed. In fact, I was just like mesmerized here. So. That was fantastic. I mean, you just kind of belted it out like it wasn't anything. Like you said, just walk on stage with me, guys, come on. You really did that. Thank you so much for sharing your talent. You're incredible, and I know that we're going to see some really amazing things from you. I mean, you are very young, so I cannot wait to see where your career takes you.
Thank you, I appreciate your time.
Thank you. That's going to do it for this episode of Riff On This. Be sure to stay locked in tight for another episode coming soon. Thanks for listening to Riff On This, and a huge thank you to our special guest, Sebastian Gabriel. Be sure to follow him on Instagram or TikTok by searching @Sebagabo. And don't forget, you can link me on my social media. Just search Samara Kokinas News 6 on Facebook and Twitter. On Instagram, search Samara Kokinas. Before we go, a huge thank you to our behind-the-scenes production team, Derek Mosier, Ryan Haley, Chris Flora, and Joe Grinnan. And please take some time to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't forget, sharing is caring, so tell a friend about us too. You can find videos of all the podcast episodes on clickorlando.com/riffonthis. Until next time, friends.